Yeah!
Woo!
Get excited, everybody.
Oh, yes!
We are 43 minutes and change away from UFC 299. We have been looking at this fight card for months now, and the day has finally arrived, everybody. So let's get excited. Welcome to the People's Pre-Fight Show to get you ready for this stack card in Miami, Florida, the UFC's return to the 305. I am Mike Heck, and joining me as always, the baddest stash in all of MMA. How many times will he swing the chair for this card? He is the incomparable E. Casey Leydon. Let's see.
One, two,
It's like a tilt-a-whirl.
Oh, oh.
Things are breaking. Wires are falling apart. I think he unplugged a light. Is that a jump rope?
Yeah, well, bands and workout equipment back there. I kicked over my Bulgarian bag. Yeah, so,
The Bulgarian bag gets a boot.
Yeah, so let's do this! Let's do this! Let's go! Fight!
You are excited. You're excited for this one.
It's a good card. It's
Pretty good. It's pretty damn good. There's a lot to like about this one. There was a lot to like about that chair spinning as well. And I'm sure there's a lot to like with the questions that are be coming in. Because if you are new to the People's Pre-Fight Show, if this is your first time, welcome. All we're going to do is answer your questions. Of course, we do have our Super Chat feature, which if you don't want to wait in the line, because I'm sure there's a lot of questions and comments. If you're just like, you know what? I don't want to wait. I got things to do. I got to go pick up the pizza or pick up the 12-pack or whatever I got to pick up before this card starts. And you just want your question answered. You can enable the Super Chat feature and you can jump the line, maybe piss a few people off at the same time. And isn't that why we're all here, ladies and gentlemen? So let's go. What are the peeps saying?
All right. What we got here? Let me hold on.
Just realized I had the freaking TV on. Turn that off. What's everyone going to snack on for the fights?
What do you do? What do you sip on? Are you just sipping coffee during the whole watch party? How do you handle? How do you keep your energy up, Mr. Heck?
So I usually drink a Prime energy drink. Like one Prime will send me. It's like rocket fuel. Usually energy drinks don't have any effect on me. Those do. One Prime got me through a 4.5-hour watch party yesterday. So, yeah, that's what I'll have like a snack or two before we go live. Maybe like some carrot sticks or something. But, yeah, I usually will eat something like after we do the post-fight show at like 5 a.m. before I pass out. But, yeah, what are you going to snack on?
Well, I'm having a few of my my training partners are coming over to watch the fights tonight. So
Nice.
we have some healthy snacks. Esther is just left for the grocery store to pick up some a vegetable platter. I don't know. We'll see. We're not gonna go too crazy, but we did go to Costco yesterday and we got some pizza bread, some kind of margarita pizza bread. So it's gonna be health and some seltzer. We got some fresh cans of seltzer, so we're good. We're wilding over here. We're wild.
I mean, that is why Inglewood is up to no good, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at the food selection, the beverage selection. It's gonna be wild at the Leydon household.
All right. Got a super chat. Here we go.
The Last Stand 001, thank you. Which fighter on this card needs a win the most? This is like, it seems fairly obvious, but you can kind of digest this in a number of ways. I guess what's the first name pops up in your mind when you see this question?
When I read this question, which fighter needs this win the most? I take it as if they lose, it will be virtually impossible for them to kind of regain the same position they are where they're at now. I would. Oh man. Needs it. Oh man. My initial thinking was actually Michael Page, MVP.
That's a good answer.
I'm gonna go with that one because I think this is a very favorable matchup for him with Kevin Holland and his ranking, and I would say Michael Page right now because if he wins this, there's just be so much momentum with that win. I mean, if a big win, he could potentially leapfrog, consider the name, Bilal. So I'm gonna go Michael Venom Page. What is there an obvious one I'm missing? What was your guess?
I mean, Petr Yan's like the first answer that comes to my mind.
See, I'm a
Like
little
he'll be in a
different on the
4-fight losing.
I'm a
But
little
I
different on
mean,
the Petr Yan thing because the 4-fight losing streak. Yeah, I get it looks bad, but I don't see it as a 4-fight losing streak. Honestly, I see him on a 1-fight losing streak. But I understand the the
yeah,
numbers here.
yeah, and look, like we're not looking at Petr. Even if he loses this fight, like we're not looking at Petr Yan like he's Tony Ferguson, where it's like worrisome when we see him on a card. He's losing to Marab, or he's losing incredibly close fights. So, but still, if he wants to like get back to a title fight ever again, he's got to win tonight. Like you can't lose 4 in a row, no matter how we all feel about it. Even if you scored the Sterling rematch in the O'Malley fight for Yan, wins and losses have to matter in some way. I know the UFC is not fully a meritocracy, but man, it's tough to come back from a 4-fight losing streak, no matter what it looks like. So I think,
And if he does lose this song,
the answer.
that will be the lowest ranked fighter he's lost against. Even though Song is obviously a very highly skilled prospect who could be potentially very underrated at this time, we just don't know. But yeah, it will be.
What is Song ranked in the UFC's rankings right now?
I'm not sure.
Because I think O'Malley was like 9 or 10 when he lost to O'Malley at that time.
When Song lost it, when Yan lost, right? So Song
When Yan lost to
Song.
O'Malley. Song is 7.
Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. O'Malley
he's
was
7.
farther. Yeah. Okay, Okay. Well, yeah, Petr Yan. If he loses,
The
then
lesser known name for sure that he loses to.
Yeah, it'll be the most lesser known name. I think if if Yan loses his next fight, which I'm sure his next fight will be someone out of the top 15, if he does lose a Song, especially if Song finishes Yan or wins decisively in a decision, I would put this on the next fight for Yan. But right now, I'm still gonna go with Michael Venom Page.
Yeah, it's Page losing tonight is gonna be. It'll be tough.
Yeah,
It'll be tough. He gains so much from a win
and loses,
today, but he loses a lot if he loses today.
Yeah, but it's incredible how much his future in the UFC can go with his performance tonight on one fight. So I'm really excited for that fight. All right, I got a super chat from Michael.
What a name. I mean, I'm telling you, what a great name that is. Which fighters will earn a title shot with a win? I mean, we're talking in guarantees here. That's very tough to do. Man, Page is one of them if he wins. Like, I don't know if he 1000% leapfrogs Bilal, but I guarantee you when they sit down and have a matchmaker meeting on Tuesday, they're going to try to bring that up as a possibility. I think Poirier has a real good chance of getting a title shot if he wins. I don't know if they give it to Santini if he wins just yet. They might want to give him one more because he's got time. Yeah. He's got time, and there's a whole bunch of other fights that need to happen. And if the UFC needs to go to Islam versus Dustin to like fill a spot, Dustin's a big enough name to make that happen, and it'll sell pay-per-views. But still, like, is there a fighter on the card that you look at and you're like, man, if they win tonight, they're fighting for a title in their next fight with confidence?
If Almeida rolls through Blades,
that might be the answer.
If Almeida rolls through Blades, then I could possibly see Almeida Aspinall.
Yep.
So
that's the right answer.
Yeah, I think that's the one, honestly. Curtis Blades not in the running yet. Obviously, if Curtis Blades wins big, there is a possibility we might run back Aspinall Curtis Blades too, but I don't see that as strong as a possibility. What was Blades coming off? Okay, the Sergey Pavlovich knockout. Yeah, actually, honestly, who does Blades? Man, am I forgetting who's Aspinall fighting next?
I would get my guess is he either if he'll fight Almeida or he fights Cyril Gane next. That would be my guess. I don't think they're going to give Blades a title shot, even though Aspinall might want it. If they
Even though the fight was already
right now,
booked for the main event.
Yeah, I mean the fight happened and Blades won. It was weird, but
I mean, you won.
it's unfortunate.
I mean, it's no one considers.
I mean, Tom
yeah,
could
it's a
want
win,
it.
but yeah, you know.
But that fight only makes sense if it's in the UK somewhere. Like if they go to Manchester and they want to headline a UK card with Aspinall versus Blades, like a fight night, then sure, that can happen. If Aspinall is getting like the star pop over in London, cool, we can do it. The UFC just does not ever really seem to be in the let's give Curtis Blades a title shot business, even though he's had like 3 or 4 opportunities in his career where he seemed like the legit number one guy to get it, and then he gets skipped over, or he takes a fight with a really tough dude and loses, and then he's out of the picture. We'll see how it all plays out, but I don't think Blades gets a title shot if he wins, unless he delivers a knockout of the year candidate or something where he's like absolutely undeniable.
You know, we're talking about who has to get a win tonight. Maybe it's Curtis Blades. In terms of title shots, obviously not in terms of his UFC just employment, but in terms of title shots, if he loses tonight, that means he would lost to a really good striker in Pavlovich, and then to a really good grappler in Almeida. So that's that's just not good.
Tough spot to be in.
Yeah. So yeah, lot high stakes tonight, high stakes, which is why this card is freaking awesome.
So good.
Got a super chat from our friend Achilles Jr.
Hey, Achilles. This went well last time, so let's see if it'll work again. Thank you for all that you do. Cheeto, BSD, Holland, JDM, Blades, Piotr Jan. Let me see what this would pay out. I'm gonna do the math right now on DraftKings.
What's the line on Holland page? I don't even know.
Holland is a minus 135 favorite.
Slight.
All right, so read off the names for me. So Holland, JDM,
Cheeto,
Benoit, Jan.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
I think Cheeto, BSD, Holland, JDM, Blades, Piotr Jan. That's it.
And Blades.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, so if you parlay those 6 fighters together, Kevin Holland, JDM, Cheeto Vera, Benoit Saint-Denis, Piotr Jan, Curtis Blades. DraftKings, it's plus 4304. So if you put $10 on that parlay, you would win $440.41 if that hits.
All right.
So pretty significant odds. Take a
it.
shot at it. Look, if you want to, Achilles nailed a big dog parlay last week. Just nailed it. So, throw a couple bucks on it. See if you can ride the hot streak here. Cheeto could definitely win. BSD could. I mean, all these guys are in play. There's not like one guy that I look at that's like, oh yeah, they could definitely lose this fight. They're all live, every single one of these guys. So, I don't hate it.
All right. Thank you much, Achilles. I got a super chat here from Felix.
What's up, Felix? Can we try an interim option to fix the scoring? 5 judges starting with UFC 300. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
It's a problem that
they can't even get the judges soundproof headphones. Like we can't even do that. Which is crazy to me.
But I do like the just the thinking that for big fights like this, we're not talking regional cards. We're not even talking fight night main events or anything. Big cards like this for certain fights. But like, don't they have like more umps for World Series games? Don't they have more refs in playoff games for football?
Yes,
right?
And they have more umpires for baseballs too.
Yeah, more umpires for baseball. I think basketball is the same. It stays the same, but could be wrong. I don't see why this isn't a crazy idea. I've always kind of liked the idea: 3 judges cage side, 2 judges in a separate soundproof room or some sort of headset where they only hear the live sounds of the crowd. Obviously, no commentary. I've always kind of liked that idea, but I don't think we need 5 judges around the cage. But I do like the idea of 2 judges who are just watching the broadcast with no commentary. But But again, I don't think this really solves anything. I just think it makes, I don't know. It'd be interesting, but it's like number 10 on the list of fixes I want to judging and scoring.
Yeah, I forget like how exactly how he explained it, but Tyson Chartier, who is the head coach, the manager of like all the New England cartel guys, laid out like a scoring system where it really doesn't. The only thing that would really change is if there's a round where two of the judges score it for one fighter and one judge scores it for the other. The fighter who gets the majority of the
The rounds.
cards gets the round. Like
I say,
they win the round. So if two judges score for one fighter and one scores it for the other, the fighter who got the two judges on their side, they get the round. Round 2 the same, round 3 the same. So then if it's like one weird card, that it's meaningless. You know what I mean? It almost like takes the meaning out of it altogether to some extent. So he would explain it better, but I'm pretty sure that's what he laid out. And I don't hate that. I really don't hate that idea. If we're not going to change the scoring as it stands, where we're sticking with the boxing model, then I don't hate that. I really don't.
I can't. I wish I could think of it offhand, but I've seen fights where if you go by rounds rather than just like who wins round one, and it'll be a different winner than who the actual final winner was. Like sometimes they'll win 49-46 or whatever, but if you go round by round, the other guy actually won. It's
Yeah.
so it's weird, but interesting. But there's also a reason why this may not happen too is this costs the promotion a little bit more money. That means that the commission will charge the promotion. Well, we have to pay 2 more judges to show up and everything. So I mean, so if the UFC is about saving every single dollar, I don't see why they would pay for two extra judges.
Yeah. Plus, you need the commission to approve all of this, anyways. It would need to pass legislation as well, state by state, commission by commission. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But the UFC just want to like try some experimentation with things. Like I wouldn't hate that either.
These are fun things they should try on Tough, I think, because those are exhibition bouts. Those are kind of fun things that would kind of change it up instead of doing the 2-round sudden death. I don't know. It's just have fun.
CFFC tried to do something. It was like 2016. They did an event where they did the 3 judges cage side, and then they had 3 judges in the scenario you set up, where they're in a booth, they have the monitors, they're watching the fights on television, no sound, no nothing. They're just watching them, like in a soundproof area with other members of the commission sitting beside them, like watching them and make sure they're not like cheating or anything. And they just wanted to see. I never actually I don't even know what the results of that was, but at least they like tried to do something different. So, but they only tried it once. So I was pretty excited about that. But
all right. Well, thank you for your suggestion, Felix.
Yeah.
Super chat.
All right, guys, some Super Samoan legal team. Rule modifications needed in regards to
The Doumbé
the
situation.
Doumbé situation.
Yeah.
I mean, all refs need a magnifying glass to look for potential slivers in somebody's toes. Like,
But yeah,
I mean,
they never even looked for anything. It's just take a second. Yeah, take a second. That's all.
yeah.
So just take a second.
Are they going to modify the rules? I doubt it. I mean, I totally doubt it. It's just that whole thing was a freak thing. It was super weird. We may never ever see anything like that ever happen again in like high level promotional MMA.
Yeah. My position is like I don't even think it's a freak thing. I think it's only a freak thing of the way it was handled by Goddard. If it was just, dude, just go. Oh, this isn't an actual injury from the fight. This is a foreign object. Just we pause fights all the freaking time. There's some tape on their glove that's loose. We go, okay, stop the fight. They bring the cut guy in. The cut guy cuts it. It's like 30 seconds for our lives. Okay, boom, whatever. A guy spills a bag of ice in the cage. They sweep it up. The MMA, the integrity of the fight is still there. If they would have paused the fight and Goddard would just listen and listen to both of the fighters. Both fighters were like, "Hey, there's something wrong here. Let's solve this." And we could have just solved it and it would have been done. But Yes, by the letter of the law, apparently, as soon as you pause the fight for 1 second, it has to end. Which I
You know,
never understood why.
you know what
Never
this
understood
reminds
why.
me of? It's at a whole different level and it's a whole different thing. But this reminds me of when Charles Oliveira missed weight by like 0.2 pounds when he fought Justin Gaethje and got stripped of the belt. Because like that commission, the guy who was doing the weights was like, it must have been like his first time doing it. So he did it by like the letter of the law. Even though like most commissions you go to, like you step on the scale and you're close, they slam that shit home and they're like 155 and you move on. If Oliveira stepped on that scale anywhere else around the world, he would have weighed 155, would not have been stripped of the title. But God, like this is kind of what it reminds me of. It's just like a weird thing, wrong place, wrong time. Because you're right. Everything Goddard did was what he was supposed to do. Is what he was supposed to do. That is all in the rules. Aaron Broadsetter had a great tweet about it that laid out every single scenario, answering all of those questions, all of the concerns and complaints about this. So by the letter of the law, he did what he was supposed to do. It was just a super weird thing, and it could have been handled differently, but he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong.
I still don't think it's the letter of the law either, too, because it was a foreign object in the cage. How does the guy lose by TKO from a foreign object? If someone throws a glass bottle in the cage, hits the fighter in the head, and they go, oh, TKO, you lose. That's not the way it works. It's no contest. The fight never happened.
But that's not what happened here.
But it is what happened. That was a foreign object in the cage. Someone.
Yeah, but we don't know. He says it was glass. On the broadcast, they said it was like a splinter.
Yeah.
But again, it's so like.
What are they stopping the fight from? His toe wasn't broken. The doctor was like, oh, it was literally just, boop. Okay. And Cedric Doumbé didn't want to stop fighting. He wanted to go, hey, can I pull this out? I didn't. But if they wouldn't have gone, hey, let's fight. And on the second pause in action, it wasn't even Doumbé that stopped the action. It was his opponent. His opponent was like, he backed up and he goes, hey, ref, can we just fix this so we can actually have a real fight here? And then
I actually thought watching that Baki was like, what the hell is this guy doing?
It was Baki that stopped fighting. It wasn't Cedric Doumbé. That's where they kind of blew my mind.
I thought he was like pointing at Doumbé, like looking at Goddard, being like, "Yo, why isn't he fighting? Like, let's go. What are we waiting for?" Like that's what I thought watching live. Doumbé explained it in a different way. Mm-hmm. That no, even he said like I should take it out. But watching it live, my first thought was, okay, man, let's fight. And then they start fighting, and Baki's waiting for Doumbé to come forward, but he's not moving forward, and he looks at the ref like, what the fuck, man?
And
like,
also,
why isn't he fighting?
And even the whole fight, that's not in Doumbé to move forward. Doumbé wasn't handed a card for timidity or anything. He didn't get a point taken for timidity, because that's essentially what they're saying. Oh, you're not fighting. It's too timid. You get a yellow card or whatever. You get a warning, or you get DQ'd for timidity. That's not we've seen that before. That's not what even happened. Like, he just said, you're not fighting. But Doumbé was fighting. He was in the cage. He was standing in front of his opponent. He didn't turn his back to his opponent. He didn't do anything to indicate, I'm not fighting. If Baki would have attacked him and thrown punches, Doumbé would have defended and attacked back. Doumbé simply said, hey, I have a piece of glass on my foot. Can we resolve this? Otherwise, I'll just fight with a piece of glass on my foot. And Doumbé would have fought with a piece of glass on his foot because he's a tough MFer like that. That's why I still think Goddard messed up pretty much, because it was a foreign object. I don't think it wasn't. If it was,
it's not popular. He probably could have, if he truly wanted to stop it, he could have, but he didn't have to. Like, he did not have to, because of like what the rule states. Because it wasn't something. It was weird, but we don't know where it came from. Like, it could have happened backstage, and it just like hit the certain spot, like right in that moment. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like you step on a piece of glass, or you step on like a sliver of wood or something, and you don't even know it until like you take like 50 steps, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like something just stung in my toe. And at that point, like, what's Goddard supposed to do? Like, how do you know where that came from? You know what I mean? There's just too much unknowns there. Why didn't Baki have anything in his foot? Why did not any other fighter on the card have anything in their foot? So
it's a piece of thing. It could have been wood. It could have been a metal shaving this tiny. And remember, people forget, like, every cornerman, every commission member, the referees themselves, the cameraman, the sound guy, anyone that walks into the ring, they're all wearing shoes. The only person that's barefoot are just the two fighters. They're the only ones barefoot. So everyone is wearing shoes all around the cage. They're wearing shoes up and down the entrances. They're going to the restrooms. They're tracking trash into the cage all the time. And it's just, yeah, it was unfortunate. And I just wish, I'm just shocked at how experienced Goddard was, that he's just, I'm not listening to you. And this really annoyed me too. Both fighters, their English is at best their third language.
And they got a ref. I don't buy into that one with Doumbé though. He's done a million interviews in perfect English. Like I don't think there's a language barrier that's concerning here.
It's a third for even his opponent. Why do you have an English speaking ref in France when that's not neither fighter's native language or even their second language? So I do buy that.
But look at what Goddard did with the Rosenstrike-Gaziev fight. He was the ref for that one. Brought in the doctor and said, like, yo, I want to know exactly what these guys are saying to each other. And he's like, he said he can't fight because he hurt his eye. Okay, we're done.
He asked someone. Honestly, he asked a translator. He goes, hey, can I get a translator to make sure that they understand absolutely what I am saying here?
Right. But Goddard did tell him like 4 times, you can't call timeout. Like, you have to fight through it.
He didn't call timeout. He just pointed to his foot. He never said timeout. I'm not fighting. Cedric never
right,
said,
and that's what Goddard was saying. He was like, dude, I can't stop it. You're gonna have to fight through it.
And Cedric never stopped fighting. He never turned his back away. He never
he kept pointing at it though. He kept pointing at it.
That's not the time. That's not to me. That's not. And I want to emphasize this: Goddard is not a bad ref. He's not a bad ref. He's a very good ref.
He's a great ref.
He's a great ref. Sure. But every ref.
Honestly, here's the thing. If Goddard asked one more question, if Goddard just said to him, like, look, man, Cedric, you can't call timeout. If you ask me again, I'm stopping the fight. Like, if he did that, I think this would have gone over better. Secondly, I think Goddard was the weirdest thing about it to me was how aggressive he was when he stopped.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like,
that was the strange thing. I think if Goddard like basically didn't say like, you know what, F off. We're done here.
Yeah.
And he just handled it like, look, man, I told you we can't call timeout. The fight's over. And did it like in a more calm fashion. Still would have been super weird.
If we don't fight right now, the fight is over. He never said right now. And you see that all the time. Like when guys are getting beat up on the ground, the ref's going, if you don't defend yourself, I will stop the fight. I will. You know, they say that. They said that. I will stop the fight. Then they stop the fight. I don't know. It's just like
one more thing. Like if he just, I kind of wish. Again, I don't think he's wrong. I wish it didn't happen, but he's not wrong here. He could have handled it better. And if he just said like, Cedric, dude, if you say it again, I'm stopping it. Like, I'm not stopping the fight. Mm-hmm. So if you point to your toe or you ask me to stop the fight or you're asking for a pause or you even point and stop moving at all, we're done here. But he didn't do that. I get why people are upset. I'm not blaming you for being mad, but you can't really blame Mark either. Outside of just the aggressive
if this gets resolved and this is called a no contest, which it should be a no contest, it should not be a TKO loss. Absolutely is a no contest. It's like he stepped on a foreign object that wasn't involved in the fight at all. It is a no contest. Then it's all resolved. It's just a bad night for fans and the promotion in general because you end the fight like that. Yeah. But just call it a no contest. All right. Sorry about that.
If this could have all been avoided if PFL just were good at doing their jobs. And actually put Cedric in with like a fighter he could just destroy in 25 seconds. Like, I'm glad. Like we saw more of him.
I agree and don't agree. I agree and don't agree with that because then we have this whole kind of. I know it's different. This Jake Paul situation. We're like, well, he's beating guys he should beat in 25 seconds. But then we're like, what is this?
Fans aren't there to watch him fight a challenge. They're there to watch him kill somebody like the last time. When he fought like a perfectly styled matchup for him who just had like a nice record. Which is exactly like the Jake Paul thing. It was basically like Andre Agassi is like 19-1 or something when he fought Jake Paul. But we all knew it was going to happen. And Cedric Doumbé, the guy he fought, like you look at it from a stylistic perspective, like Cedric, there's no chance he was going to lose that fight. Even though the guy had a really good record. It was like Bellator matchmaking to the nines.
Well,
and then they threw him in there with Baki, which is just like one of the top prospects in all of the sport right now. At 22 years old, that kid is going to be a friggin' problem.
Yeah, I didn't mind. And that's why I was actually really impressed with Cedric no matter what, because the fight was very competitive. It was 1-1 going into the fifth, into the third. Neither fighter really hurt each other. It was very competitive. That's why it was even more frustrating. But hopefully do the rematch. Hopefully it is reversed to a no contest, which it should be, which I probably think it will be. And yeah, we'll just move on from this silly situation.
Yeah, no shit.
Thank you, Super Samoan Legal
The
Team.
slack fights about this fight were tremendous. It was a good time.
All right, we got Lazy Bed.
It was like me and Damon versus everybody else. Does DP pass the lightweight torch to BSD tonight with an L? I mean, with an L, like, to what extent is probably the question. Like a torch, certainly. Like a top 5 spot torch, sure. But I just don't know what torch Dustin Poirier, like, what torch does Dustin hold right now?
He has one freaking big torch in the sense that you thought that if he gets a big win tonight, he could still possibly get a title shot. So, I mean, that's an incredibly big torch.
No, it's like it's a great name on the resume.
It's
a great name on the resume.
How many people?
Dustin's a legend.
Yeah, he's a legend. He's still not past his prime. He's still very. And people remember that first round of Gaethje Dustin was it was super competitive, right? The first round.
It was a close round.
Yeah, close round. You just got hit with one head kick. The head kick. I think this fight's more about how Dustin comes back from that kind of loss, and how he comes back from that loss. So pass the torch. Yeah, I mean co-main event on a giant pay-per-view. Yeah, the UFC is putting a lot of marketing and a lot of I don't know, what do you call it? They're placing their bets on BSD to win tonight. Not to win, but I think if whoever wins, it's a good for the promotion. It's not like they want one guy to win,
Yeah, it's a win-win for them. Dustin wins, cool. If Benoit wins, they go to Paris in September, and he's the main event. It's all good.
And that's why this is a great fight, because it makes sense for Dustin, it makes sense for Saint Denis, and it makes sense for the UFC. So that's why when it hits all 3 points, perfect. Super chat. Ooh, $6.99 super chat. Here we go. Man.
Michael's back, everybody. Name the best fight on the early prelim, the prelim, and the main card. Main card's easy. It's Poirier versus BSD. That's my main event. I like O'Malley Vera a lot. I'm glad we're getting a rematch, but this night to me is all about Poirier versus BSD. That is my main event.
That one's yours. All right.
What you got for these three?
I'm actually going to go with potentially, I think the biggest night, the most important fight could be Holland Michael Page. If Michael Page wins big, I'm going to go with that one.
Sure.
Outside the main, obviously the title fight's a title fight, so it's got lots of importance. On early prelims, early prelims and prelims. Okay, early prelims then. Michel Pereira and Michael, I can't ever say his last name.
Oleksiejczuk.
Oleksiejczuk. That fight was booked for just crazy violence. So that one should absolutely be super exciting. And then on the middle of the card, either the Gamrot or, actually Gamrot to the Barber fight to the Blades Almeida fight. All three of those fights are awesome, actually. I know Caitlin. How do you say her new last name? I never said it out loud.
Sermonara.
Sermonara. All right, Caitlin Sermonara. Congratulations, Caitlin
Sermonara. For freaking 5 years.
Oh, did you just change her name? Is that why?
Remember we covered UFC 244? She got married right before 244. That's when she got married.
Why did she just change her name? I'm just kind of curious. It's just
because she's wanted to change her name. The UFC just changed it heading into this fight.
It was a UFC thing.
Okay. The whole time. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, then shame on you, UFC. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't know that. I
think she's been Sermonara for in her real life for 5 years now, almost.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind. I don't follow her.
It's a weird
her life that much, so I don't know. But I think
it's just Michelle Watterson. We didn't get the Gomez on Michelle Watterson's name forever, and she's been married to Josh for
But she
long
was
ass
no,
time.
but no,
So
that was a choice she made later in their marriage. It wasn't like after she got married, she decided to go. But whatever, we're
oh, is
not.
that what it was?
Yeah, she was
Yeah, we
Michelle
don't need to
Waterson
talk
for a
about
while. Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
that.
But I am excited to see if the Macy Barber we were kind of advertised about, like the next, violent flyweight queen is gonna kind of rise. And she had a rough start, but she's still only 24 or something, right? 24 or 25. Oh, it was Macy Barber.
She is
She's 25.
25. She'll be 20.
Yeah.
She'll be 26 in May. So she's almost just about 26.
Yeah, so she's just about to reach her actual prime as an athlete. So we may just now be seeing the best Macy Barber, and we're gonna see tonight. So the last three prelims, actually, I'm all super excited for all equally, and yeah, and I always love watching Gamrot fight. So
Yeah. I mean, it's Almeida Blades for me. So intrigued. Like we're gonna find out if Jailton Almeida is that guy or not. I still think he's very good, but now we're getting a Jailton who doesn't look like a light heavyweight who's just taking heavyweight fights. He looks like a friggin' heavyweight. I think he was like 242 or something, and he looks way bigger
yeah,
than he looked even with the Derek Lewis fight. So very interested to see how that one goes down. Early prelims, I mean, you're probably correct. It's probably the Pereira Oleksiejczuk fight, but I'm going to go with the UFC debut of Robelis Despain. This dude is a madman. 6'7",
yeah.
Taekwondo
I saw that only
medalist.
4-0. I don't know. Yeah,
Only
tell me
4-0.
about him. I don't know anything.
He's got the longest wingspan in UFC history.
Oh my god!
Like before even having a fight, he's a giant. His last three fights, 19 seconds combined.
But the records of, oh my god, the records of the four guys he's beaten, a total of 1-0.
Right. But here's the thing. Miles Banks, Adrian Yanez was on the watch party yesterday. He knows Miles Banks very well. And he basically told us, like, look, I will guarantee you Miles Banks is going to be in the UFC in the next 2 years. Like, that's how good he is. So to see Despain literally just touch him one time and kill him was a shocker. Like, Yanez has seen this dude fight in person for all three of those fights, including the Miles Banks fight, because he even thought, like, all right, Miles is like a super good prospect. Like, he's gonna be in the UFC. That's how much he is. That's how highly he is viewed on that regional scene. And to see Robelis go in there and just ice him in like 5 seconds, it just shocked everybody. So this dude is the death touch. He just comes forward and he's so rangy, but so powerful that all he has to do is touch you once and it's done. Like, he's that guy. It's scary. And he might just kill Josh Parisian tonight. Like, it's very possible. But Josh is tough. He's a gritty vet. And if he can get this fight to the floor, maybe things get a little hairy. But I think the UFC kind of knows what they're doing here. And I think Robelis is going to be a guy we're going to be talking about a lot on the post-fight show, honestly.
It could go. We could be talking about how freaking scary he is, or we could be talking about, like, oh, this guy has got one of the most padded records to ever enter the UFC. 4-0 with it. I've never seen 3 of his opponents were their debuts as pros, and he only fought a 1-1. I get he won by just a one simple death punch at the very beginning of the round, but yeah, I want to see.
Yeah, the guy he fought was like the guy he fought was, I think, the #1 amateur heavyweight in like all of Texas after 4 fights. He had like 4 first-round knockouts, made his pro debut, got a first-round knockout. So like everyone was like, okay, this is the guy. And then they threw him in there with Robelis, and Robelis just touched him.
It was just like one. I mean, I got to see the fights.
Robelis is also 35. He's 35 years old,
which is a baby for heavyweights. So whatever.
No shit. Right?
It's a baby. It's a baby.
I'm fat. I'm telling you guys, when people see this dude fight, if he does to Josh Parisian what he's done to literally everybody else he's gotten in there with, it's gonna be wild.
Hey, well, the UFC does know what they're doing in the sense that they have booked him against. If we're no offense to Josh Parisian, but if we're gonna rank all the UFC heavyweights, Josh Parisian is probably at the very near the bottom. So this makes sense, and the where it's on the card and things like that. So cool. I'm excited for the freak show
Yeah.
nature of it. We'll see what happens.
I mean, they're lucky they released Parker Porter, because if they threw him in there with Parker Porter,
Oh,
his first
I'll be
time,
like that
no doubt about it.
that's promotional malpractice. It's like
Yeah, you can't do
why
that.
are you doing
You want
that?
to try to build this
Yeah, you
kid.
gotta
Come
build
on,
this guy. He can't crush his spirits. Parker
give him a
Porter.
chance here. Parker will just maul him. He'll just tackle him. I love that guy.
I love him too. Thank you for your question. Super chat here from our good friend Terrence Leverett.
Hey, Terrence. Val and Alexa at Serpay. Will we just get tough matches on prelims? If ESPN era ends, will tough end as well? Are we Val and Alexa at the Sphere? Is that what he's saying?
I think it's Spear. I think yeah.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that could be the case. It could also be the co-main event to Connor and Chandler as well. And I don't think either of those ladies are going to complain about that.
So Val and Alexa are never going to fight. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they would get pushed to the main event. I don't know. But yeah, I could see that happen at the Sphere. It makes sense. It's going to be a Noche UFC card. It just seems like such a long time. Waiting a year to run that back with the division that's just hungry and ready to go.
I hate
Aaron
this.
Blanchard and Manny
this.
Fiorello are about to fight for the next shot, and they're going to have to wait 6 months to see the result of that fight. Golly.
I hate it.
Will we get tough matches on prelims? Maybe. Like we did for 292. That's how they announced. That's how we got the champions for the last season, was at 292. If the ESPN era ends, will tough end as well? No. As long as Dana White is still breathing oxygen, tough will live forever.
And with so many streaming services that need content and they need cheap content, that's what tough is, and that's what tough is right now. It's just content to sell to streaming services. So we can see tough. We can see tough on Amazon. We can see tough on Hulu next year. Whenever the ESPN deal is, we can see tough back on ESPN. I don't know. Does it even air on TV? Is it strictly a streaming show now? Tough. Does it even air anywhere?
I think last season. I want to say last season was on like linear ESPN as well.
It actually was involved. Because Connor was involved. Okay. But I
don't think this season will be the same. But
no, oh god,
yeah,
dude,
Dana's never. Dana loves The Ultimate Fighter. He loves it, and I get it. That show is one of the biggest reasons that they started their ascent to where they are right now. Without that first season, The Ultimate Fighter, I don't know if we're even doing this right now, because that gave us Forrest Griffin, Stephan Bonner, the ratings. Everybody wanted the UFC after that first season. That was the big thing that got me into the show, got me into the UFC. Like, I knew what it was and I watched fights casually, but that show being on after Raw on Mondays, I started like really getting into the sport after watching season 1 of Tough. I watched every single show, every single week, watched the finale live, and it just blew up from there. So they went all in on Tough. And because of the importance of the success of the company due to that first season, I think Dana's going to keep it around forever.
I only like 2 seasons of Tough. The Michael Bisping Mayhem Miller season with all the flyweights and bantamweights. Awesome cast. And then the original strawweight season with
that was a good one.
Yeah, it was because they had serious stuff. And the Mayhem Bisping, the Mayhem Bisping season, great rivalry and great actual fighters that were in the house. Outside of that, Tough can please just die. Please die. I thought the
first like
dude,
5
there was a
seasons
tombstone. There was a tombstone in the PI or in the Apex about Tough. It said Tough, 2001 till 2017 or whatever, and it was like dead, and then somehow it came back. This is zombie Tough, but Yay. I mean, it's there. Whatever. And the more we
Yeah.
hate on it, the more Dana's like, yeah, we're gonna do more seasons. So whatever.
No one watched it when Conor McGregor was on it. So I
Because
mean,
it was
it's
boring. I got paid to watch it. I was like, God, dude, I'm just gonna get a job at the grocery store now. This sucks. It's like
oh my
I'm just gonna
god.
go work at FedEx. This is horrible. I can't believe. It was just not good. It was just not good. But I am happy that Cody Gibson won, and because he's awesome though. So I mean, I get for the fighters. I do feel bad talking crap about Tough because for the fighters themselves coming into the house, this is still a giant deal to them and a big opportunity. So I'm not hating on anyone that's any fighter that's on the show trying to chase that dream, and they feel this is their path in. Do your thing, man. But just as a
Yeah.
viewer, as someone that this is just entertainment. Ugh.
Yeah. It's tough. It's pun intended.
Hey.
It's just the same show. It has not evolved at all.
It's boring. And it's
Not
boring.
at all. We're still doing basketball jerseys. Like we're doing on the whole thing. It's all exactly the same, just with better cameras. It's all it is.
Yeah. Oh, great. Same crappy show, higher resolution. This is awesome.
Yes. All right, I'll
Thank
take
you,
a couple
though.
more.
Yeah, we got three more. We got three more super chats. We'll fly through them.
Felix, UFC 199 ended with a heavy underdog shocking the world with a round 1 KO. Are we going to see a repeat tonight? I mean, I'm not comparing Marlon Vera
to short notice Bisping.
Short notice Michael Bisping. And plus, like, they fought before, and Luke Rockhold beat that ass real bad, destroyed Michael Bisping. So it's not the same, but I get where you're coming from here. Can you see a world where Marlon Vera knocks out Sean O'Malley in round 1?
No, but they are small gloves, and they're professional fighters. So I don't think any of us are predicting that. But round 1 KO by Cheeto, that would be probably you list the 10 ways this fight could end. I think round 1 KO by Cheeto would be number 10 in terms of likelihood, but not the craziest thing. Now
I gotta see what
if you told me Cheeto's going to win by
round 1 KO is lined at right now.
Is there a line for stepping on a splinter?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, we have to start inserting those into.
Dude, I appreciate Tapology because on their actual page, it says TKO, splinter in toe. I love it.
Splinter in toe. All right, here we go. Let's find it. Felix, you should probably take a shot at this if you're feeling vibey here. Just to give you like an idea of where some of these props are. Robelas to Spain, KO round 1, minus 225, which might be the highest I've ever seen for a round 1 KO. Let's see. Round 1 KO for Marlon Vera, plus 1,400. So there you go. If you're feeling vibey and you think we're gonna get a repeat of 199, get some value.
Yeah, drop $5.
1,400.
Yeah. Cool. And 2 quick comments from the super chats.
Caleb, just wanted to say I really enjoy the content for big pay-per-views. Looking forward to this one. Cheers, guys. Thank you, Caleb. I am looking forward to this one as well.
Awesome.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I am excited.
I'm probably going to have absolutely no voice tomorrow. Like zero. I can already feel it coming. I already bought my cough drops for my throat lozenges for the night. This is going to be a battle tonight. I'm ready to go.
This is what we do. We put up with some kind of ho-hum cards, but obviously, the UFC, they throw us some cards, so we get cards like this. So I'm having friends over. I'm being slightly social tonight. I want people. Hey guys, let's watch fights rather than I'm watching fights tonight. I feel weird. Which that's a whole other thing. How it gets to the point where like you feel almost dirty as an MMA fan. It's like, oh, I'm not going out tonight because I'm watching Apex fights. But tonight's one of those nights where you can go, yeah, I'm watching fights. I'm gonna call my friends. So tonight should be a fun night to be a fan. And our last super chat.
Shack Life. O'Malley calling to Poirier Ilya Tilapia is funnier than it should be to me. Sean's not Sean's not great on the microphone. He's just, I mean, he'll drop a funny line here and there, but like at those pressers, man, he is just fine. Like, I don't know. Some people are like built for that. He's like passable, but he's not great at it. He's just not great at it.
The part I enjoy about him is like, actually, I enjoy the fact that he seemingly kind of gets to be himself in terms of how he wants to look. He wants to wear that green glitter or whatever he was wearing. Awesome. Not something I would want to wear, but you know what? But I want fighters to be themselves as much as possible. That's why we are, I think, into the sport, because it's as real as it gets. So we want to see fighters be as real as they can be up on stage, you know, doing their thing. If that's how they want to present, if that's when they dream at night, like when, I'm gonna do a press conference, I'm gonna wear this. That's awesome. Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, him on the, yeah, he's not a great guy on the mic, but whatever. You know, cool. I just want to see people be themselves.
I will tell you what. Yeah, I will tell you what Sean has been doing very well as of late. Treating, like, when I say treating his opponent with respect, I don't mean it where you like saying like he doesn't talk trash about them. When it comes to their actual skill and the skills they possess and they will bring to him, he says the right things. You don't really hear Sean O'Malley saying like, this guy stinks and I'm going to just knock him out in round one. Mm-hmm. He's even saying like, for all the people, because Marlon Vera, from a meritocracy perspective, even though this is not how we should be viewing these things, doesn't quote unquote deserve it. They, like he's treating Marlon Vera like he's the most dangerous guy in the world. And he's saying as such to anybody who will listen to him, like, dude, this guy is not an easy fight. Like, he's really tough and really dangerous. So I do like it from that end, but golly, I'm so glad we're like, all this shit is over and it's time for the fights. Like, we're going to get all of our answers. All these storylines are going to play out. We're going to have so much to talk about after this card. I'm just so excited for all of it. So with that said, Casey, do you have bonus predictions?
Bonus predictions. Oh boy. Hold on, let me go to my picks. Right. Performance of the night, Michael Venom Page. Performance of the night, Dustin Poirier.
Oh.
And fight of the night, Peter Yan versus Song Yadong.
I don't hate the Poirier pick at all. But I think that fight's going to get fight of the night. So I'll go with that as fight of the night. Robelis to Spain is getting a bonus. There's just no doubt about it.
All right.
If he wins, he's getting a bonus. And the other bonus, I will go with Michel Pereira.
Oh, all right.
Michel Pereira. Because I mean that's just my guts telling me we're just gonna get two quick, emphatic, vicious finishes like in the first round, and then we'll move on to the other fights. All right, main card predictions, Casey. We kick things off. We have Petr Yan taking on.
Okay, let's start one fight back.
Jailton Almeida versus Curtis Razor Blades. Let's get the odds for you via our friends at DraftKings right now. Jailton Almeida, who was the underdog like 3 days ago, now the favorite, -125. Come back on Curtis Blades, +105. What is the selection here?
I never got in the Jailton Almeida bandwagon. I'm still on the Curtis Blades train, so I got Curtis Blades, second round knockout.
Listen to what I tell you. I do not have a bet on this fight at all. No way, shape, or form. But my official MMA fighting staff prediction is Jailton Almeida submission round one.
Ooh. What kind of submission?
Round one.
What kind of submission?
I don't know. Some sort of strangle. Some sort of strangle. He's this
arm triangle.
Yeah. Look, if Curtis wins this fight, like, I'm not gonna be surprised. Like, don't clip this off and be like, Mike's an idiot. Look at this fucking stupid pick. What I'm telling you right now is, this is not this is more of a wager on Curtis Blades' game plans up here and his fight IQ. This is a guy who has a clear path to victory in my eyes, but he also likes to play around in the other guy's clear path to victory just to show that, hey, I could do this shit. Watch this. And he does this so often. Like, he must be the most frustrating guy in the world to bet on. And I think the second most frustrating guy to bet on is probably also fighting on the same card. So I'm going with Almeida submission round 1. We need some good vibes for 301. And let's just go ahead and do this. Let's just get Almeida and Tommy Aspinall headlining 301. Then you could throw Ali Pants in there with absolutely anybody, and we're good to go. So we'll see what happens. Now we go to Petr Yan versus Song Yadong. Right now, Petr Yan minus 142 as the favorite. Come back on Song Yadong plus 120. Who you got?
Because life is chaos for Petr Yan, he will lose a controversial split decision to Song Yadong.
I pick, after being down 2018 after 2 rounds, a 3rd round stunning knockout for the former bantamweight champion of the world, Petr Yan. Round 3 KO. Song gets a little too excited, and gets clipped.
All right.
And Petr Yan gets back on track. We go to Gilbert Burns. Actually, let me just go to my. I do have a bet on that fight. I just think I have over 1.5 as a parlay piece for that fight. So there you have it. Gilbert Burns fighting Jack Della Maddalena right now. Jack Della Maddalena, the favorite, minus 162. The comeback on Gilbert Burns, plus 136. I have a bet on Gilbert Burns. I got him at plus 130. I think JDM is a very good fighter, and he's going to be around here for a long time. I just think there is a glaring weakness in his game, and it just happens to be something Gilbert Burns is very, very good at. So Gilbert Burns is my betting selection. For my stat pick, I have Gilbert Burns submission round 2. No, Gilbert Burns decision is what I was going to go submission, but I ended up going decision, Gilbert Burns. What do you got?
Gilbert Burns, 29-28, but he's the clear winner.
Yeah. Michael Venom Page, I assume you're picking him, and you're picking a performance bonus.
Knockout round 2.
Damn. Okay.
Knee from the clinch.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's getting a freaking title shot if that happens. I have a bet on Michael Venom Page as well. I got him at plus 114. My pick is MVP by decision. We've talked about this a million times. The people just saying like Michael Venom Page is about to get run over by Kevin Holland. Could that happen? Certainly. It could. Kevin Holland is also the other frustrating guy that bettors probably have a hard time betting on, because Kevin Holland just seems to have advantages in a lot of these fights, and then he just wants to be fun. But we kind of just saw this fight. Did we not? December of 2022, we basically saw almost this exact same fight. Kevin Holland versus Stephen Thompson, and that did not go well for Kevin Holland. So give me Page at dog odds. It's more of a vibes pick, but I think there's value there, and we'll see how this all plays out.
I don't think Michael Venom Page is the best welterweight, in the UFC, but I do think he's one of those fighters that's he's overrated and underrated at the same time.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's tremendously true.
Okay, yeah.
Tremendously true. And look, Michael Page needs this one way more than Kevin Holland does. Kevin Holland will fight anybody, collect that check, and be very, very happy to do so. MVP in the UFC to just take fun fights. He's in the UFC to try to win the world title. And Kevin Holland ain't in the business to try to win a world title. So, not saying he could never do it, but he just doesn't really give a shit if he does or not. But that's a really interesting fight. But the most interesting fight in my eyes is the co-main event of the evening. Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Saint-Denis, big favorite, minus 225. Come back on Dustin Poirier, plus 185. I actually have a bet on Dustin Poirier. I got him at plus 170. I think there's value there. And my official selection is Dustin Poirier, TKO round 4. I think he weathers the BSD storm. I think 5 rounds favors Dustin Poirier in a big way here. And I think the longer this fight goes, the better it plays out for Dustin Poirier. He's just got to weather a storm because that storm is coming. And if BSD can't get him out of there in the first 12 minutes or so, I think it's Dustin Poirier's fight. And I think he gets BSD out of there in round 4.
Kind of with you, Dustin Poirier submission in the championship rounds in round 4.
All right. We go to the main event of the evening for the UFC Bantamweight Championship of the World. Your favorite, pretty significant one. The champ, Sugar Sean O'Malley, minus 258. The comeback on Marlon Cheeto Vera, the challenger, plus 210. Is the belt going back to Arizona, Casey, or is Marlon Vera going to be celebrated as a hero in Ecuador? Is that belt heading to Ecuador for a big celebration?
And still, Sean O'Malley with a dominant 49-46 decision. Nothing. I don't think we're going to be. It's not going to be a fight of the year. It's going to be a solid fight. But I think Sean O'Malley's going to be smart, play the long game, and just kind of beat up Cheeto from the outside for most of the fight. Cheeto's going to get his shots in, and O'Malley will get hurt, but he'll recover well, and he will win a decision. But Vera will have his moments. He will have his moments.
So from a betting perspective, I do a parlay: Barbara Chukagian over 2.5, main event over 1.5, co-main over 1.5, MVP Holland over 1.5, Yan Yudong over 1.5. Pays out a plus 218. The non-violence parlay. For this fight, my money is on Marlon Vera, but not as an official pick. There's point spreads in MMA. Marlon Vera plus 5.5 points is minus 110. So that is where my bet is. That when the final scorecards are read, Vera doesn't lose by a total of more than 5.5 points. I think this fight's going to be super close. I think Sean O'Malley by decision is the pick. I think 48-47, 48-47, maybe a 49-46 mixed in there, which is just fine because if those are the cards, I win. Because that'll be 5 points. So I think we're going to get something like that. Maybe even a splitty, which still pays out. And if Marlon Vera wins, I still win. So it all works out. This is like a perfect hedge. I think this is going to be a super close fight. But give me Sean to win a decision and a fun one. More of a chess matchy kind of a fight that we think it's going to be. And if Sean O'Malley knocks out Marlon Vera tonight, fucking crown that guy. Because that'll just be like, can you imagine a weekend where the guys who are like the least likely to be finished in fights end both massive cards getting knocked out? Francis Ngannou on Friday and Marlon Vera on Saturday?
Like one shot Vera, like homeboy Joshua. We'll see. That'd be crazy.
He's getting Ilya Taporia or Tilapia, as he calls him.
Yeah.
If he wants it, he's getting it.
If he wins tonight, that's going to be such the talking point because, I have opinions on that. I got opinions.
If he knocks out Marlon Vera tonight and he calls for Ilya Taporia, that is the fight we're going to get. 1,000%.
UFC likes making money. UFC likes making money, and that makes money.
Yes, but we shall see how it all plays out. Hit the music. We're done. I believe Joe Enwood, Marina Moroz 2 happening. 9 years in the making. Must be going down right now.
Is this JoJo's last? Is this her final fight?
I think so. That's what she's saying.
Okay, I didn't know that. I wasn't sure. I heard people talking. I just didn't see any press on it or any media covering her. So, man, well, we'll see.
All right, watch
party.
I've
always been a big
Eastern.
JoJo fan. So,
yes, 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Watch party. We're gonna have a good time. Post-fight press conference right after that. Post-fight show right after that. And then we got on to the next one tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And don't forget, everybody, flip those clocks ahead 1 hour. Golly, they couldn't have waited for next week. To do daylight savings, but them's the breaks, everybody. So buckle up, get your food, get your friends, get your beers. We're going to have a fun time tonight. For Casey, I am Mike Heck.
Yeah.
See you in a few hours, everybody. Enjoy.
Fights.